Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm your host, Keith Downey, and welcome to another weekly news roundup, where we tackle some of the most controversial headlines from the week. And this one, well, sometimes when you're scrolling on social media, it kind of feels like watching a car wreck. You want to look away, but you just can't. Yesterday, two of the world's most recognizable figures, tech billionaire Elon Musk and President Donald Trump, got into quite the public clash on X and Truth Social. Now, while their exchanges might, make headlines, they also highlight important lessons for us, and for us Catholics specifically, about communication, humility, and leadership. So let's unpack this drama. Now, first off, we got to set the stage, right? So if you aren't totally aware what happened, at the end of the day, it all started with Elon Musk criticizing Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It's kind of hard to say really fast, but basically accusing him of failing to lead responsibly, because there's a lot of stuff in there, and everybody trying to read that before it's passed can be a challenge. I get that. But if you know Trump, you know he doesn't stay quiet for long. He fired back in his classic no-holds-barred style, taking shots at Musk, and before long, the exchange just spiraled into personal jabs, accusations, grabbing attention worldwide. It's a kind of drama that does make for great headlines, but leaves us wondering, is this really how leaders should behave? And hey, and as a Catholics, our faith does give us a nice, neat roadmap for how to handle such situations like disagreements, even heated ones, right? So we have the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which makes it kind of crystal clear. We're called to practice charity in all of our interactions. That does include avoiding rash judgments, jumping to conclusions about someone's motives. It also means steering clear of detraction, which is tearing someone down without good reason. It also means saying no to calumny, spreading lies that harm someone's reputation. Instead, we are urged to speak truthfully, charitably, and prudently, always recognizing the dignity of every person involved. And yes, even when we're frustrated, even when we're provoked, and especially when we're online. Now, I don't think it's too important to share every single message posted back and forth. You could look them up. It's pretty easy to do so. But one thing, one message that I did want to share, and it just really goes to show how just anybody can help kind of smooth things out. So there was the exchange between Donald Trump saying the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. And then, as Matt had mentioned in the news update this morning, Elon responded, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. And then some random person, completely anonymous person, like there's no image of them. I have no idea who this person is. This is what they responded to Elon's tweet. This is a shame, this back and forth. You are both better than this. Cool off and take a step back for a couple of days. And Elon responded, good advice. Okay, we won't decommission Dragon. Now, mind you, this person had, at the time, little less than 100 followers. Nobody knew who this person was. And so, a little can go a long way about our communication when it comes. Anybody could have just written very nasty things about either Trump or Elon, yet they chose to kind of be real. And that's kind of the thing about platforms like X. They don't make being real like this very easy. We've talked about this on Morning Joy previously. Tend to amplify our worst tendencies. Pride, ego, the urge to fire off a snarky comeback. Hey, I'm guilty of that. Public feuds like this one between Musk and Trump, they do more than just kind of make an embarrassing spectacle. They kind of deepen divisions. They set kind of a bad example for the rest of us. I mean, when you have influential figures trade back and forths like this in front of millions, I mean, you could see it in the comments, the polarization between people. It almost became an Elon versus Musk type of situation. Our faith does call us to a higher standard. I think we all know that. You can take a look at Proverbs 15:1. Says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So, just like in that instance that I shared, that example, a gentle answer can de-escalate, can calm things down a bit. A harsh word, well, we've seen that. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. And I always like to look back at, what do the saints have to say about some of this stuff? Well, not about this situation in general, but St. Francis de Sales, he's a master of gentle communication, says that, when you encounter difficulties and contradictions, don't try to break them, but bend them with gentleness and time. And St. Thomas Aquinas, well, we also know, especially with Dave Palmer helping us out every Tuesday, he wrote about temperance and speech, choosing measured, thoughtful words, even when someone's pushing your buttons. That's usually when it's the most difficult. But, speaking on social media in general, because we know platforms like X can be a minefield for virtues, it is so easy to forget there's a real person behind every post. And that digital detachment, I like to call that, can erode our empathy, tempting us to fire off impulsive responses instead of just really pausing to think. And as Catholics, I think we're called to remember, that, hey, there's humanity of others, whether we're chatting in person or typing out a reply online. So it really does challenge us. Our faith really does challenge us to bring prudence and charity to those interactions. And so I figured, I've talked about this previously. What are some good examples or strategies we can have to avoid some of these situations that could happen in just any everyday interaction on X. So first, I would say, maybe look at some of the positive examples that we have. One good example, as a public figure, I should say, is, Bishop Robert Barron. He encourages, or at least engages in tough topics online, but he does so in clarity and charity. Any everyday Catholics who you might follow online as well, tend to share hope, try to build bridges, and really promote understanding. So we do have some, good examples out there. But living out practically, all right, here we go. So I think before responding to emotionally charged posts, obviously we should take a pause, maybe take a deep breath. I always like to say, before you post, say a Hail Mary. And if you still feel that urge to post something that might be a little inflammatory, say another Hail Mary. And if you're still feeling that way, say another Hail Mary. You know what? Just say a rosary. How about that? Just pray a rosary. And if you still feel that urge to post, then I think you'll have made up your mind by then. So definitely pray for guidance before jumping into controversial discussions. And Jordan Burke, who's been a guest on Morning Joy a few times, I think the last time he was on, basically mentions you don't need to be a part of every argument. You don't need to be part of every happening online. So if you do see something that's happening, you see these arguments going back and forth, maybe just acknowledge it and just pray for them. You don't even need to get involved. Just pray that there's some sort of resolution, and that whoever's heart is hardened is lessened. And third, we all have to consider the impact of our words before we hit that send. So at the end of the day, is this really worth causing an argument? Is this really worth creating deeper division? Or could whatever you're going to be posting point someone toward truth? Father Matthew Schneider said it really best on X. Your choice between President Trump and Elon Musk likely does not affect your salvation. Your choice between Jesus and Satan definitely affects your salvation. Choose wisely and focus on what matters. Couldn't agree more with Father there. And that pretty much concludes this weekly news roundup here on Morning Joy. Now, we are about to jump into what we like to call our round table, not a roundhouse, by the way. That was a funny mistake that I made the other day. Quite different. But for today's round table, we want you to react to this Trump-Musk feud. You can give us a call by calling 877-757-9424. We want to know from your perspective, what did you think about this? Do you think this was prudent? Do you think this was completely fabricated? I've seen that theory being passed around. Was this just one ruse? I don't know what the reason why that would be a good thing to make this all up into kind of a fake argument online. But we want to hear your thoughts. We want your perspective, and we're going to take that online. So that's right. We're going to be transitioning from the radio on over to the social medias. So if you do want to join us, make sure to find us on any of the social media outlets. And you can do so by searching Morning Joy Radio or GRN Online. And while you're there, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. We want you to join us every single weekday. And the beauty of it all is that we have a wonderful, absolutely wonderful community, especially on YouTube. In fact, if you are on the radio right now, we'll help make the decision a little bit easier for you. Just jump onto YouTube because you're going to be greeted by the best of people. We call them joyful pilgrim warriors. So make sure to do that, GRN Online. And then, yes, give us a call if you have the opportunity to give us your perspective on this Musk and Trump feud. 877-757-9424. But hey, if you are going to be staying for or listening to the Holy Mass coming up next, please pray for us. Please pray for our leaders. And we will continue to keep you in our prayers and intentions as we head into Pentecost Sunday. If there's anything you learned from today, I pray that it's to get ready and prepared for this weekend and continue to live on with the Holy Spirit. But if this is us truly parting ways for the rest of the week, gotta say, God bless. Make it a joyful day. Make it a joyful Friday. Make it a joyful weekend. And we'll see you bright and early Monday morning on Morning Joy, where truth matters. We'll see you.
This has been Morning Joy, where truth matters, hosted by Keith Downey. Take some joy with you today. Visit grnonline.com/joy to listen again, share a segment, or answer the question of the day. That's grnonline.com/joy.